Firstly, welcome everybody to the session tonight. I'm just going to mute everybody right now. It's just to get rid of the background noise. And you can mute yourself anytime you have a question. So please feel free to ask. I'm here to try and help you get through this. It's the most basic introduction to Inkscape you will see. It is meant for somebody who has not even launched the program yet. We've set up an Inkscape series here at Nova where it ultimately is going to bring you to having a situation where you can laser engrave using the program. So create your own designs and then laser engrave it. And those will be sessions 3 and 4 later on in May, I think they are at some stage. But ultimately, we're just teaching you how to draw with the program first, create some small drawings, create more commands, use more commands as we move along, and then build it up to creating materials, cut materials out of wood or paper or card or leather, or engrave on cakes, ice cream topper or cake toppers, whatever you want to put, wedding cake toppers. So it's a huge array of things you can make, and this is just the beginning. So we use your whatever design qualities and skills you have, and we work from there. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll just get started on this. All right. Apologies there. All right. Okay, so this is just the introduction. You all received this. I'm going to breeze through this very quickly. It was the introduction, just asking you to launch the program, download it and launch it. So it's a free open source vector program. All right, it's fantastic. I guess it's the poor man's version of Adobe Illustrator. It's a free program, and Illustrator costs $800 a year or whatever the equivalent is. And you can use it to create logos or business cards, as well as obviously we're going to use it for a different circumstance of using it for laser engraving focus generally down the line. This is just a broad introduction right now. It covers anything and anybody. And then slides 3 and 4, we're just downloading the program. So hopefully everybody got it downloaded. Maybe you can, if anybody has not got it downloaded at this stage, I will send this PowerPoint presentation at the end so you can go back over it. I hope it's not going too quickly. So you should be able to do it. I expect you to do it as we go along, to draw the objects, to create it, and the designs, and use the commands. We're using 5 basic commands tonight. That's it. I'm just using 5 commands. So we're going to draw some shapes with those 5 commands, show you how to modify some stuff, and have a bit of fun as well. So once it's opened, it should look something like this. I'll open mine on my screen here shortly, but I just added a little script. So I think that was what I sent you, the first 5 slides on this presentation, and there's another 20 we're going to go through tonight. This is my Inkscape here. So I've just launched it. It looks like this. One thing I will say before we begin is some people last night had an issue. They didn't have this toolbar right here at the top. One of the toolbars wasn't here. And it depends on how it opens on the program, how it downloads. But if you want to get what I have, just click on View, and at the bottom, just choose Default. This is just the toolbars. It'll give you the default ones. Obviously, you can customize it yourself as you get more and more proficient, or different types of toolbars. But for what we're using, I'm just using the default. So that means out of the box, whatever. It should be on that, but unfortunately, some people, it wasn't last night. So we just fixed that up straight away. Again, any questions, anything you can't see, please unmute yourself. Feel free, join in, type in a comment. Nate will get the comments if I'm not able to see it, and he'll add it in there. All right. Just introducing the Inkscape itself. I've broken it down into 3 basic areas: the top ribbon, which you can see up here, aptly named top ribbon. The left-hand side ribbon, we've got some commands on it, and the bottom ribbon. And if anybody has used any of the programs, the general programs like Word or Microsoft Office programs or Autodesk programs, they're all basically the same. There's the same kind of layout where you have the drop-down menus or you have the icons. The icons also, if you rest your mouse on them, it tells you what it does. So it's kind of counterintuitive. These programs is very well done, and it explains what the command is. You might not know what it does, but at least it tells you what it is. So we're going to go straight into it. I'm going to go through 2 or 3 commands, and we're going to begin drawing. So in 2 or 3 minutes, you're going to be drawing. And I said it should take about 45 minutes. I'm going to stay on here afterwards as well until 8 o'clock. So anybody's free to stay on and chat or talk about it, or how to you know, if you're having a bit of difficulty or whatever. So I'll help out as best we can. Right, the first command we're going to deal with is zoom. And with all of the commands here, there are 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 ways of doing the command. Now, the professional people are using the keyboard. The serious, quick, fast people remember what the keyboard controls are. That's not me. Okay, I'll tell you now, it's not me. So as you get more proficient at it, you may remember the commands and the keys. Yes, you can go ahead and use those by all means. For the zoom command, I use the mouse wheel. It's the most efficient one. I'm just using a mouse right now. I'm not using the, on my laptop, I'm not using the keyboard itself. But you could click on, as we show here, you can click on view at the top and go to zoom and zoom in or zoom out. You can turn your mouse wheel and you can zoom in or zoom out. And you can obviously use the plus or minus on the keyboard as well. Again, user friendly, whatever you wish, whatever you prefer. One other thing I will say at the top right here, let me turn on this little feature here on my computer a sec. Sorry, this little special mouse. All right, so I've got a little star here on top, and just above the star on the screen, there's a little icon, and if you rest your mouse on it, it tells you what it is. Zoom to fit the page to the window. So if you click on that, it makes the sheet size that you have. We're just going to stick with this one right now. It's going to make it fit to the full size, which is what we want. So it's another useful one. Again, there'll be shortcuts to it. It tells you what the shortcut is number 5 key there. So yeah, we'll move on. Next command we're going to look at, to draw a square or a rectangle. Again, it's on the left ribbon. So it's on the left ribbon over here next to the star, as I have it right there, or you can press the F4 key. All right. The next command we're going to go on, the third one, this is the last one for the moment, is the selection tool. All right, and that's the top left-hand corner of the left ribbon. So it's just a single arrow on its own. So we've got zoom, we've got square, and we've got the little selection tool. All right, and you can press F1 for it or the arrow. And I'm going to use the ribbons right now to show people where the commands are. If you want to learn the shortcut keys yourself in your own time, feel free, absolutely. If you can remember those and want to do that. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to show people how to do it. All right. Okay. Next one. So we're going to use these 3 basic commands to draw your first shape. And the shape we're going to draw is a simple square. We're going to draw it to a specific size, basically because in engineering, we deal with measurements most of the time. And this is kind of engineering or family and consumer science focused. Obviously, if you're in an industry and you just want to draw posters and you don't have to have specific sizes, you don't have to. But at least if you know how to do the measurements, you can. So that's what I'm just going to concentrate on today. So we're going to draw a 100mm square shape and then make some modifications. And that's it. All right. Now, I do have step-by-step directions on the PowerPoint. So if you, for some reason, don't get it or don't remember it when you get the PowerPoint later on this evening, as soon as it's finished, I'm going to email it to you. And there are step-by-step directions up to step 15 or something like that. So you can follow it. Ultimately, you're going to try and make this right here. You're going to try and make this graduation hat. It's a top for a graduation hat, or at least that's what I call it anyway. So you're going to make that. All right. So it's a simple shape. We're going to modify it and rotate it a bit. All right. So we'll have some fun with that. So I'm going back to Inkscape, and I'll just demonstrate it, and then I'll give you a minute or two to go ahead and do it yourself afterwards. But I'm just clicking on the shape and clicking on the screen and drag my mouse. That's it. I got a square drawn. It's as easy as that. Now, if you look up at the top of the page where my little star is here, it shows you the width and the height. Now, you can do the up and down arrows if you wish, or you can just type in the number, which is a lot faster, obviously. So you're highlighting it and typing it in. I can't see with the star here, but 100. Type in there. Star is blocking my keys. Yeah. And I've got it drawn 100 by 100. All right. So I've drawn a square 100 by 100. So go ahead and do that, and maybe give a thumbs up when you have it done. It should only hopefully take a few minutes or a couple of seconds, actually, to be honest. Try and do that. Yeah, Greg's got it done. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, want me to do it again, please ask. I mean, I said, I'm here to try and facilitate, to try and help you as to do what you want to do. This is interactive. I'm talking to a blank screen and the camera at the moment, so it's kind of boring. So if you want to interact, please do.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
So Kim Gadsden actually asked a question. She asked if at some point can we discuss how to make the toolbars larger? So I guess whenever you want to address that.
How to make them larger?
Yeah.
I not understand. I'm not quite sure what that means by that. To zoom in?
I think so. Like make them wider, maybe.
I have
think
no
it'd
idea.
be under.
Yeah,
I downloaded Inkscape. My menu and all of my toolbars on the top and on the left side are very, very small on the screen.
Oh, that may be a factor of your computer settings or something. The video settings on the screen, or the type of screen it's set to. I'm not sure, but generally, okay, if you want to change the options that are here on this one is view. You can go down and play the default or the wide version. Maybe you're on wide. So if you see it down here as default, it's what I have, and it just makes it the standard size. I haven't really played with the custom settings myself, but you can change and alter and move out different things. I don't believe you can make it bigger.
Okay.
I think that's a factor of the screen setting, possibly on your maybe laptop or desktop. I don't know. I'll be honest. If I don't know what I'm going to tell you, I'm not making stuff up.
Thanks very much.
I can certainly look. I can certainly try and help you afterwards. You know, at the end of the session, we can try and play with it and see if we can and try and figure it out if you wish. If you want to hang around at the end.
Okay. I don't want to interrupt anymore. Thanks.
Okay. All right. No problem. We'll do that at the end. Okay. So we've got it done. So the next thing we're going to do is going to click on the top left-hand corner here to our selection tool. All right. Click on the selection tool, and you'll notice if you have your square selected, it will do it. Otherwise, click on the selection tool and click on your square one time, and you see it makes arrows pointing at the corners and pointing at the sides. Now, if you click again, it changes those arrows. So clicking it once gets it pointing at the pointing. So it's pointing at it, rotating, pointing again, rotating. So every time you click, it just changes the arrows. Now, as you can guess from this, but if you click on the arrow pointing away, you can drag it and make it bigger. All right. If you drag the sides, you can drag that. And if you click again, you can do the rotation. You rotate it around. Grab the little handle. They're called handles. Grab it. You can rotate it around. Grab the little handles in the center. You can change the size. And it gets us the little kind of graduation kind of hat. So go ahead and try and play with that just to make a kind of a graduation hat design. And it's not exactly the same as the one I had in the previous PowerPoint there. This one right here, but it's a close example of it. So it's just a case of playing with it. Go ahead and try and do that. We'll give you another, say, a minute to do it. And we're going to move on then. So this is just getting used to the command. And again, you can zoom in and zoom out so you can see it if necessary with your mouse wheel. And again, it's the selection tool. The top left-hand corner lets you do various commands by selecting the item. So in this case, it's rotate or make it larger or smaller. Anyone, any questions on that? All right, I'm going to move on. Okay, so what I want you to do now, your first assignment from this is I want you to create this shape. All right, so you should have drawn one rectangle right now, and we're going to draw 5 more. All right, so you can go up to the top of your Inkscape and go new file, go new, and it'll just create a new file, and you can zoom in or out, and then just create 5 new rectangles. And I'm going to do it here on my screen as well at the same time, slowly, so you can see it. We'll give you a couple of minutes to do it. And I'm just going to put up a little poll so you can click when you have it finished. And we'll just do some coloring with it later on then. All right, so it's assignment 1. You can draw it and save it. So it's just a rectangle. And these are obviously rectangles as well, and they're just distorted. So I've got 1 long one and 3 smaller ones. All right. So I'm going to do it the same time as you. So new, creates a new file. I'm going to zoom to screen, and I'm just going to draw some rectangles. Click on the selection tool. And just drag it into place. So I've just drawn one there. And again, you just draw a few more. It's a representation of a candle. It's, look, it's just something I made up. It's a design. So I'm going to all right, Nate, can you see the poll there? Oh, why is it not working? Launch polling. Oh, here we go. It's on now. It worked.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah. So when you get the candle completed, just go ahead and click on so I have an idea of when you have it done so I can progress. So you can continue drawing. And please, again, ask any question as you're drawing it if you have a query or a question about it. I'm just clicking a rectangle, drawing a shape, clicking the selection tool and just playing with it to get it to change. Click it one time to reduce the size and click it another time to change the arrows facing in. You can get different sizes and shapes. Now, there are ways of copying and duplicating and all that sort of stuff. You know, we'll work on those on other sessions. This is just, again, basic drawing. So the person that says no, do you need help with it? Do you need me to repeat and do something again, or you just need more time? I mean, you have as much time as you need to do it.
Yes, Monica asked if you were able. She was able to make a rectangle, but can't do it again. Can you go over it?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll just delete. So to do a rectangle, Monica, if I click on the square button over here on the left-hand side, just hopefully you can see the little star on my cursor. Click on it. Click one time on the screen and drag your mouse. And there's my rectangle. So once you have it drawn, the next thing we have to do is select it. So if you hold your mouse on it, it tells you select and transform. So we want to try and transform the objects. And then it's just a case of getting the different arrows and just dragging and pulling the arrows. Click again. So click one time, it reduces the size, makes it smaller or larger. Click again, and you rotate it. Is that working for you, Monica?
Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes.
No, it's not working. For some reason, I'm getting a dash line at this point and not like a blue or a different color rectangle, and then I'm not able to actually rotate it.
Okay, so what have you got here? So when you draw, are you able to get a rectangle like what we have on the bottom here? Does it show up like this?
I did the first time, but not now. Now it's all in a dashed line, like you see in the top of your rectangle that you've turned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I see the dash line, but nothing internal.
Okay, maybe it's so maybe just delete that one again. Just delete that rectangle. Just try and delete it. Just press the delete key on the keyboard and just try and draw a regular rectangle, just like that. See if that works.
Okay, so I have it and it's still dashed, and I see handle to corner on the bottom right, and the same.
So is it a colored shape? Is it blue? Is it a colored shape like this?
No, it's not.
Okay, so down at the bottom of the screen, and this will help everybody as well. I'm just going to go back, as if some people are finished, they can move ahead. The next slide is I'm going to get you to change the colors to make the candle look like this. So we're going to try and make it look like a flare or a candle or a firework or whatever. So we're going to change the flame colors, and this may help Monica as well here at the time. So I'm just trying to kill two birds with one stone, as it were. Is if you look down at the bottom, it should say, it'll say fill color. It says the fill color, and yours should hopefully have a blue there. So just select the color and it'll change the color to it. So if I wanted to change that as my flame, I just select an orange or a yellow color and it'll change the color of it. So select the item you want, just click on the color and it'll change it to that color. So maybe the fill was turned off is all I can think of in yours at the moment. Monica, that somehow or another it was accidentally turned off, or you hit the key or something to delete it.
I don't know. So when I see fill, I see a hatched square, and then the blue.
Okay, so you don't have what I have right here at the bottom. It doesn't say fill, and you don't have a solid color. Can you click one of the solid colors to do it?
Yeah, if I hit on the solid color on the fill, like there's a hatched and then there's blue. If I hit on the blue on the right side, I get the fill, and then I have like flat, like another window popped up.
Yeah, there's a window over here like this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the one here. So you want you want it to be the solid color. If you get a chance to do fill, you want the solid one, not the hat. So you want the flat color. So somehow or another, I don't know how the settings get changed, but it could just happen or whatever, right? But if you click on the flat color here, where the star is, just directly over the star.
Okay.
And then that should get rid of the hatch pattern for you. So then you should be able to.
It doesn't matter that I'm not in a star. Does it matter?
No. I'm just using it's star. It's the star on the end of my cursor. Sorry, I'm using a yellow star as a pointer. It's just to show you where my cursor is, because on Zoom, it's very hard to see it otherwise. I could change to, let me see. Will that make it easier?
No, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It just, it's not changing my hatch to blue at the bottom screen. So where you have green at your bottom left,
yeah,
I'm seeing a hatch and then a blue.
Okay. And in the box that is on the right-hand side over here where it says fill and stroke, can you click on the fill tab and just select flat color?
Okay, I did that.
That should change it. If that's selected, you can put in numbers here. You can alter the colors by clicking the up and down arrows, but it should be on. You should be able to change a color. If you can't, I'll go through with you afterwards anyway. We won't worry too much on it. I'll hold back at the end as well, and we'll try and problem solve what the issue is. Maybe go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my suggestion is for right now, just go new file, and it's maybe something in that file that something you just clicked accidentally or something. And without sharing a screen, I can't see where you're at.
Exactly.
So
yeah, sure. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, so here's the candle. For right now, I didn't see my poll question there. How are we doing with that? Are we set up? Has everybody got it finished?
I think there was 2 people that weren't in. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else need more time, or can we move on? Again, you're freely able to do this. I have the step-by-step directions here to go back and do it at your own time, and I'm conscious that I don't want to go too quickly. So we have 6 or 7 slides left, and we have 20 minutes, so we have plenty of time. So there's no problem whatsoever with doing this. So I'll just quickly review in terms of what to draw or how to draw a rectangle. So we click on rectangle, click on the surface, and draw the shape. And if it's not happening, again, like any of the commands, Autodesk, if you click something accidentally, it's difficult to get it back to where it was. You might be better off just going new file, and it gets you back to where the original default settings were for the file. Now, if that was wrong in the first place, obviously that's where the error is, but I'm hoping that's not gonna be a problem. So then from there, it's drawing the other shapes and then just modifying each one and coloring them. And to modify it, transform it, you have to select the selection tool. All right, you can change the sizes, click again, you rotate, and so on. Okay, next command, and we're going to do a save. So I'll just get you to save that. So top left-hand corner, go File. Up here at the top, go File, and then just go Save. And save it on your desktop or wherever you save documents on your computer. And you can go back to it and play with it tonight, tomorrow, whatever, if you want to. That's obviously your choice. All right, I'm going to go on to two more commands, and they'll be the last 2 commands we're going to do tonight. All right, so the first one is document properties, and this allows us to change the size of the sheets. So I'm going to go back to Inkscape, and I'm just going to go to a new drawing just for the sake of it right here. Just clean off what was there before. So I can zoom in to get it full size. So I've got a shape like this. Now, depending on what you're using it for, your purpose, maybe you want to make a 6x4 inch business card, or backing for a photograph, or, you know, a perimeter for a photograph frame, or whatever you want to make. You might want the sheet to be a specific size. For us in the laser engraver in the Fab Lab at Nova, we have a laser engraver that has a bed of 24 inches by 20 or by 18, I think it is, 24 by 18 inches. So we can set the standard sheet size to be 24 by 18 on here, and then put as many objects as we want onto that sheet. So I'm going to get you to change it right now to go File, Document Properties is at the bottom there. Mine pops over in this side window over here. There's a frequently used ribbon on the right-hand side, and I didn't touch on it earlier, but I'm touching on it now because it defaults to mine because I've used it so often. So it just pops over here. The fill and stroke is there, the layers, and the document properties is what I use most frequently. So they're there right now. You may not have anything in it so far. It may be blank for you. But if document properties does not show up, it possibly is over here. And again, there's a shortcut for it, Shift, Control, and D. We'll get it up as well. So once it pops up, it looks like this. Just change to US letter, and just below that, over here where the star is, you're going to select landscape, right? And once you're done with that, you can close the document properties, and it automatically adjusts it on the screen. You don't have to hit submit or save or okay or anything like that. All right, so there's my sheet. So next command we're going to use, that's command 4. So we got zoom, rectangle or square, selection tool, document properties, and the last one is circle. All right, it's a circle or ellipse or arc command. All right, so this is the last command for tonight. So we're just going to end up drawing shapes with these for the rest of the session we have. All right. This one is a little bit trickier than normal computer programs because it encompasses all three. You can draw a circle, an ellipse, or an arc with it, and it's kind of specific, and I'm just going to go through it. We're going to try and draw, our assignment is we're going to try and draw these 4 shapes using the command. All right? That's ultimately what we're going to work with, and then we're going to end up drawing some Pacman. This is where we're going to go. So I'm just showing you, and we're going to go backwards from there. So that's what we're trying to do. We're going to draw these some shapes first. We're going to practice drawing it, and again, just go along with me as we do it. So I'm going to click on the circle command. It's just below the square. Square is right there, and circle is right here. So I'm going to click circle, click on once on the screen, and drag. Now, it reverts back to the last shape you've drawn. So the last shape I drew, which was last night, was an arc, a closed arc shape, and if I look up directly above the shape, you've got the 3 different options here. You've got a closed arc, you've got an open arc, and you've got a circle. So I just click on circle to make it a circle. Now, again, you can drag those. You can move the handles to do different things with it, and click at the top to get it revert back to a circle. All right. Now, same as a square, top left-hand corner over here, there's our measurements. So if I want to make it to be a 20 millimeter square, or a circle, sorry, 20 by 20, there's my 20 by 20 circle. All right. If I want to make it an ellipse, 20 by 30, I can do that as well. So you can put in precise measurements if you need it. Now, again, back to the selection tool, it does exactly the same thing. So you can modify it. You click on your selection tool, you click on it once, you can make it bigger or smaller. You click on it a second time and you can rotate it. You can rotate your shape, make it into an oval or a football shape or whatever. All right, so it's the same process. It's exactly the same. So now one thing I do want to go through now that I didn't touch with the square because I wanted to leave it to here is if you click on the circle command and you hold down the control key, So if you keep the control key pressed on your keyboard, click one time on the screen and move slowly, it'll create an exact circle for you. All right, if you do it slowly, it'll make a circle shape. If you go too fast, it can't keep up. All right, the processor speed of the computer just isn't able to keep up. But if you go slowly, you can draw exact circular shapes or exact square shapes. If you put the square one and you hold control, you can get an exact square shape. So as you can see here, this is the start of a Mickey Mouse head or whatever, all right? The hat, whatever it is. So you can start making shapes and dragging them out. All right. So selection tool, press delete, press delete. So we're looking at trying to create these 4 shapes here. So it's a regular circle, 20 millimeter diameter, a ellipse 20 by 30, a kind of Pacman shape here at the bottom, and then an open arc. And I'm going to draw these at the same time. So please stop me, ask me questions as you go along if I'm going too quickly. All right, so I'm just going to draw those at the same time here, and you can draw along. I'm just going to close some of these other drawings. All right, so I'm going to draw a circle first of all. I'm going to click one time on the screen, hold my control, click one time on the screen, move my mouse. I'm going to change my measurements up here to make it 20. And do the same here. And again, if you don't want measurements, obviously you don't have to do measurements. But I'm just, again, showing you how to do it in case you need to do it. So there's my circle. Next, I'm going to draw an ellipse. So I just go back to the same command, circle command. And this time I'm going to draw an ellipse shape and then just fill in my measurements. So I'm going to put 30 first. Horizontal is 30. And the y-axis or vertical is 20. Oops, not 120, 20. And there's my ellipse. And I can drag it into a approximately level where it is. So those are the easy ones. The next 2 are the difficult ones. So if you are able to draw those 2, maybe just concentrate on these ones because these are the 2. The next 2 are the complicated ones. They are a closed arc and an open arc. And I'll show you the difference between the 2 of them once I've got it drawn. So I'm going to click on my circle again. I'm going to draw a circle. All right. Once I have the circle drawn, you'll notice handles. I've got circular handles and square or rectangle handles. Now, if you grab hold of one of those, you can do different things with them. So click on the selection tool. Oh, it disappeared off it. Sorry, apologies. Sorry. Get off of that. Do again. Getting ahead of myself there. So here's my circular shape. I'm going to grab one of the handles, and if you move it slowly, you can either create a quarter of a circle, you can drag it around to here. So I've got, this is an enclosed shape. I can change it here to the radius or enclosed circle. I can get this, I can drag it around. So you can play with the handles to do whatever you want. So by clicking at the top of the screen, you've got the closed arc or the open arc. All right, so I'm going to make this one be a closed arc right now. All right, undo that. I can't see what I'm doing with the star, but there's a closed arc shape. Now, this is what it looks like if we change the view. So it's a closed arc shape. All right, so it's got 2 radii here. Go back to view, display, normal. And then when I draw the other one here, the other circular shape, so when I want to draw this one, the middle one of the 3, I go again, click on the middle one. And then if I go view, you'll see the difference between the 2 shapes, what it means if you're not able to understand what it is. So this arc is open. It doesn't have any 2 radii joining to the center. This one has a closed shape. This one is open. And it may make a difference to you. It's like, this is the arc command. So it may make a difference if you're drawing something on a design or some fancy pattern. You may need to have an open circle. So that's what it's showing. So just drawing the 3 of those. So once you have that done, this is your assignment. I would like you to try and do this one. It's drawing 5 Pacman, and we're choosing different colors for each one. I don't care about the sizes. It's just you try to draw 5 successive Pacman and see how you're doing with it. All right. All right. All right, in that, sorry. All right, so if you get it drawn, I just put the poll up there, the little question up there to say that you can click to say you've completed it. All right. And again, most of this is just practice. You know, it's easy for me to go through what stuff is on the screen here, but you know, I want to try and help you to draw it. If you're willing to and wanting to draw it, I will do what I can at the end of the session to for those people that were not able to complete the candle, I'll stay on and help you to draw it. Likewise, if you don't get the Pacman drawn. And again, if you can draw one, you can draw more. All right. So it's just okay. There is ways to duplicate it and copy them so you can make them smaller and shrink them. And so it's not this is just the basic, raw, simple way of drawing it. All right, so the 2 people that are finished right now, awesome stuff.
Hey, Tim.
Question, yes.
So Stephanie said, I don't have the 3 arc icons next to the dimensions. I have scaling options next to the dimensions on the top ribbon.
All right, on the top ribbon up here. So you click on circle. Again, this probably has to do with the default. So click on view, Stephanie, at the top, click on view. And make sure you've selected the default. All right, it's got to be on default because if it's on customer wide, they may not be there. All right, sorry, my kids' distance learning emails are coming in for tomorrow.
She said she did that.
Okay, so it's on that already. Okay, so let's try again. So click on circle. I'm just going to draw another one. Click on circle and just draw the shape, and it should pop up here just next to it. And if it's not there, I'll work on trying to get it in there later on at the end. It should be there as a default. That is part of the default system. So I'm not sure why it's not there.
She said she got it.
Yeah. You got it? Okay, cool. Thanks for monitoring that there, Nate. Appreciate it. I'm just going through this stuff still. Come on. All right. Okay. So this is challenge 2. And what we're going to do for the rest of the session, for those who want to look at it, I've got 3 more slides. That's all there is to it. And we got 5 minutes or so to finish up. So this is the challenge 3. And the assignments I've set it up, the system, the sessions, the series as I go through this, the Inkscape series. I set up assignments and I help you draw those assignments, or I talk you through it. The challenge is kind of involving you doing it yourself. So, you know, I give you the assignments, give you the information, and the challenge then is where you try and draw something using the information you've learned. And as you'll see from this one right here, it's a silhouette of a house. It's got a pond, which is an ellipse. It's got a roadway, which is a rectangle. It's got 4 trees, which are 4 circles and 4 rectangles. It's got the top of the roof. The side of the house is just silhouetted. I just left it like that. It's got a blue top of a roof, and it's got a red front with 3 rectangles for 2 windows and a door. So it's just using and drawing objects and familiarizing with yourself with this. So for those that are done, in terms of the poll, go and have a look. I've got 8 people with it done already. That's awesome. So move on to drawing this. If you're interested in continuing with this, and again, this is extremely, and it may be extremely basic for some of you. It may be difficult for others. I don't know. As I said, I'm talking to a screen here, right? I don't know how you're reacting to it, or whether this is the information you want to know. But this is the very basic step to start it off. And obviously there's a lot more. So I've broken down a simple course for the laser engraver to simple manageable steps where people can learn the program, learn more commands in the second series or second session, draw more complicated shapes. and be able to build up the knowledge so that when you are able to step up to doing something on the laser engraver, you can draw the basic shape you want. You want to make a coaster, or you want to make a family crest, or you want to do something intricate, that you have at least the basics to draw this. And I set this series up in terms of an assignment, a challenge, and then the last slide is an ultimate challenge. All right, so that would be, I'm giving you nothing. So I'm asking you to draw this. This would be homework in terms of a class. If it was in front of a high school or a middle school class, where you have, this is your homework or your assignment for the next series. And again, please feel free, if you want to do this, and email it to me. You have my email, send it on. I'd love to see it. Obviously you don't have to do it, but it's just the next step. And if you are strongly thinking of doing Inkscape 2, which is on, I think it's on the 28th or 29th of April, the next one. You need to be able to do these things. So the minimum, so it's asking you to draw a house by a river. So you're drawing a house by a river, and the minimum requirements are a road, a river, a house, some trees, a cloud, and the sun. But you add in a swan or a duck or some fish shapes in the river or whatever as well, some waves, whatever. So the idea being that, you gradually increase your skill base. That's what we're trying to look at. All right, share results. So share results, the last one. I don't know. I'm just going to launch this anyway, the last one. If people are able to get it done, that'd be brilliant. But the idea here being that you're drawing that little house and pond. And again, you make your own interpretation of it. If you want to draw something else, that's perfectly fine. And again, if you want to move on further and are more interested in doing it, there are a lot of self-help Inkscape programs on YouTube. They're on lynda.com. They're on, a whole load of resources. And, what we're offering at Nova is kind of self-help to talk you through it. These sessions are recorded just to make sure there's nothing untoward as per the FBI or whatever at the moment. But these are not being shared out with anybody, and they're not being put on the internet. So it's just a self-help session, and hopefully you're getting something out of it where you can learn the basics, realize if you like it or don't like it, and if you do, hope you continue with it. It's a nice little program. It's free, which is what I really like about it, because it allows somebody to invest time and not money in something they may want to do. And especially in this time where people are inside, maybe it's some skill they want to learn or use. And I'm kind of gearing a lot of it towards 2 tracks. As I said at the beginning, I'm not sure if everybody was there. One will be the family and consumer science track, which is gearing towards sewing, knitting patterns, crochet, culinary skills like baking, etc. And the other is the engineering track, which is dealing with all of the other components that come along with that. The engineering track is pretty well set up at the moment between making all the objects that are there at the moment, whether it's picture frames or key rings or, fancy designed objects, family crest coasters or whatever. Maybe not so much the culinary side where you can actually draw as well. MacBook Pro 2017. I'm not sure who that is. I don't know. I don't think we admit that person in. Nate, I don't think we admit that person in. I don't know who that is. And the session is just finishing anyway.
Okay, I didn't admit the person.
You didn't?
Yeah, no, I did not.
Yeah. It's yeah. We're coming to a finish, so I don't know who it is. So I'm leery of allowing somebody in at this stage. There's a few people have not got it completed. Yeah, I mean, if you are finished, I said this is what it is here. My last slide. I just want to say thank you for joining. I said it's an introduction to Inkscape. It's as basic as I hope I made it. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed it, again, there's another free one on in a few weeks on Inkscape 2. Sessions 3 and 4 there'll be a fee, a slight fee for materials is like $10 or $15, where you create some objects, whatever you want to create yourself, and then they print them out in the Fab Lab and they get mailed to you. Obviously, you can't go in. The idea would be that normally, in normal circumstances, you would come into the Fab Lab and you can make stuff yourself. You can draw stuff at home. You can create it at home, and then you would just pay for the materials at the Fab Lab to print stuff out. So once we're up and running, that will be the case once we're back again. But for the moment, it's just a case of, you design it and you just pay the small fee for the materials, and we print it off for you. All right.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
So Monica asked, what does unset mean at the bottom left under fill?
Unset. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stroke.
Yeah.
Yes, on the stroke. So it's the stroke. It's the thickness of the box. So when I'm looking at this shape right here, these are lines. These are the outlines of the shapes. So it's the thickness. I haven't covered that. That's in session 2. So you can decide on the thickness of those boxes. So look, I'll do it very briefly now. I'm just going to end the polling on that. Half are done and half are not. But this is my view, display mode, normal. So these are my shapes right here. So I drew a shape. I can click on the selection tool. I can click on this shape right here, and you can modify it over here on the fill and strokes. So you can change the color of the stroke on the outside here. So you can make it a red line. I'm not sure if you can see how. Let me make the stroke style, make it thicker. So I can make that the thickness of this box here. I'll make it go. The stars. I'll make it 2 millimeter. So you can see at the bottom down here now, it wasn't set before, but now I've set it as a red color, and I've set it a thickness of 2 millimeters. So you can adjust for different things. And again, that's in session 2. I wasn't putting that in at session 1, but yes, to answer your question, hopefully that did.
Also, Tim, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when I clicked on the circle, I still have my Pacman shape from the earlier exercise. How do I get rid of that and have just a normal circle?
So if you draw a Pacman shape, if you go up to the top, so up to the top up here, just underneath so draw another circle, whatever you want, draw a circle on the screen, and then just select circle up here, and it makes it just over the star, and it makes it a solid star. So it remembers the selection you had or the person who used it last, which is what the problem is, right? If a student is using this and somebody drew it and then they can't get out of it, all right? So it's the last selection made. Yeah. So that just gets out of it right there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions? Want to still draw? I mean, yeah, feel free to ask. I mean, session, we're done here. I'll stay on as long as people want to answer any questions with it. Greg, how did you get on with it?
Doing great, Tim. Doing great.
Awesome. Monica, how are you doing?
The Pacman was a breeze.
Great.
But the rectangle is still not going on. So what I found was that if you go to your top right where you see fill and stroke.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I click that in rectangle, it is still showing a hatched and then a solid instead of showing a full solid.
Right. We'll try and problem solve that right now. If anybody, as I said, if you are finished and you don't have any questions, you're free to leave. I'm going to help out here. Monica, we're trying to start out this problem, and you are obviously free to stay as long as you wish and ask any questions. I'm fine with it. So we'll try and problem solve what issue you have at the moment, Monica, if that's okay.
Sure.
So I'm going to go back to file new. So just go ahead and go file new so we can, we're on the same page. So hopefully we'll see what it is.
Okay.
All right. So if you click on, just draw a simple square. So just draw anything, a simple shape, rectangle, square, and tell me what you see.
I see that my cursor has a brown and yours is blue with your star. I also see the outline of my circle as the hatch line with nothing internal but the X. And
right, so there's no fill. Is there a fill down at the bottom here?
No fill.
So you select a color. Just pick one of the colors on the bottom row here.
Okay, I'll pick blue.
Right, okay. Did it fill your rectangle with blue?
No, but I do see, I no longer see a hatch. I do see solid blue.
Right? Yeah.
My unset says 0.265, but I don't have a fill in my rectangle.
Okay. So does it look so it looks like what I have here? So fill, is this what you got? If you make it, is there a 255 and 255?
No, I have 240, 100, 25, 100.
Change those to this. Change it to RGB,
Okay.
00, 255, 255. Do what I have. You can just type in those numbers.
Okay.
Using the arrows just makes it very slow. And just at the bottom here, in case the blur, make sure it's 0 and the opacity is 100.
Okay, somehow every time I do 255, it changes it to 100 on my L and A.
Mhm.
What was the last thing you told me to see? The blur was what?
0 and 100.
Oh, no, I have opacity is 0. Okay, so 100.
100, yes, that's where your problem probably is.
Let's hope.
It just, if it's 100%, if it's 0 opacity, yeah, it's.
Okay, I'm at 100. And then 255.
So you have 0, 0, like what I have on my screen here. If you can see my screen, 0, 0, 255, 255.
It's not allowing me to go 255 and 255. Oh, you know why? I figured that. 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, I'm coloring. I'm coloring. All right, I'm gonna stop playing. I'm gonna stop bothering you now. I got
No,
it.
that's okay. Seriously, ask away. Yeah.
No, I got it. Now I'm
You
gonna
got
make
it? Yeah. So it will remember that the next time. So obviously in the settings you click, something was clicked and it just changed from that. So those are the default. That's what it should have. And you can change on the wheel. You can click a color that you think it should be, and you can change the colors here, over here as well. Yeah, it just messes things up a lot by going through those. So it's a lot easier to just choose a color
Sure.
here. You can choose the different ones because of the different settings you have. Yeah, these.
So awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it just
Thank
allows you
you.
different colors. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. And
So
again,
cool.
just sign up for the other ones if you want to do it. All right.
Thank you very much.
All righty. Take care.